since I just did it like a few seconds ago. I believe. Yeah, we're live, right? Maybe. Yeah, it should be live. Why do I not see anything?
I see you.
You see me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just can't hear that in your ear. Two streams one day? No, that's definitely not right. What do you? Ghostdog doesn't stream twice in a day. Okay. I hope that the super handsome but only somewhat talented guy was on the roundtable call. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. K-Dog came in and said he's going to come in and do work. Okay, cool. I just want to get started now, so I don't have anybody in yet. Other people starting to pop in. Cool. What is up, everybody? And I know I got Lee Boyce in there from earlier, since I got him right at the end of the stream, so I wanted to leave him up there. So personally, I'm really excited to see all the new stuff. I may not like everything, but with it, yeah, we're going to discuss stuff like that. Because some people are excited about everything that's coming, some people are not excited about anything that's coming, and some people are on the hold pattern and wait and see. So, Scar, we'll see how it's going. We may not be on super long tonight, especially since I got special guests on call to kind of talk about certain things. So. We're going to probably flow right into it here. I'm kind of holding out for Jason to join us.
What a slacker, man.
I know, man. Like, him and I talked 4 times today, and he verified what time. He said, well, I'll be in my car. I said, that's fine.
Watch him be fighting for cell signal or something similar.
Probably. Because he's got to work tonight, so he's driving to work, and he's going to sit in the parking lot and join us on call.
Oh, that's dedication right there.
Super dedication. But I definitely want to get as many people's feedback. We'll be looking at chat. I'll be trying to take questions from there as well. If you guys don't recognize the voices on my call, just pause the music so I don't have to feel like I'm yelling over it. I have the wonderful and talented Dragon, who used to be on the UMCOC podcast, which is where I met her initially. I think, well, no, I take that back. I met you on Daystream, I think, initially, and then transferred over to there.
Yeah, so, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's good to be back. This reminds me how much I miss doing stuff like this, man.
I bet.
Glad to be back.
I bet. And even if it's for a short period. Yes, Dragon is on, Xander. Dragon's on. And then some guy named Simula 67's on here.
Wow, dude. I was once a guest star on the MCOC podcast, so that's my claim to fame.
You were.
Yeah, I got brought on, I think, back when JJ was doing that. Dragon is always on. Dreaming was going to be about not being invited, but Dragon is way bigger deal. Drake, thank you, Dreaming. Thank you. Plus, you never return any of my messages anyway, so it's okay.
Okay, then you know what? It's fair. I am always on. Fair. Also true. I don't
Always
sleep.
On.
When I found somebody mentioned how many servers you were in today, and I was pretty much astounded by that. That number was a little higher than normal, I would say.
So for the record, I'm in 110 Discords.
110,
right?
111. It's 111 now.
My reaction exactly.
Jesus, Dragon.
Okay, so to be fair to me, or to be a little bit fair to me, a bunch of them are emoji servers. Like, at least half of them are emoji servers. And then a good other 2/3 are dedicated to games I play. So I have like Stardew Valley ones, I have Pokemon ones, I have Hades, I have like 13 MCOC servers that I'm in. So to be fair, it's not entirely insane on purpose.
I can barely keep up with one, so
7. I have mine, and I sometimes feel like I want to mute mine. Not that it's any offense to you guys who are watching who are in my server. I love you guys, but sometimes at work my phone just constantly goes off. I'm like,
Hey man, as someone who runs a server with a couple hundred people in it, like sometimes just take a break. Just be like, cool, mods are in charge. Bye. Just
Yep.
nope right out.
Notifications
Cyber.
off. That's the way to go.
Yep.
The only life. Yep.
yeah. Cyber on call currently is Sim and Dragon. That's the wonderful voice here. I think I've asked Dragon a few other times, to be honest. She's had things to do, so I was really excited to get her on for this one, because this one we're going to talk today about what the future progression of the game is. And I know a lot of people some people were upset, some people were okay with it, and some people were kind of like, I'm going to wait and see. I know where I stand in this one, but I definitely want to hear from those. Oh, Xander, you want to be on call? Okay, let me grab Xander real quick, guys, because I told him he could be on call.
Yeah, no worries. And hey, Cyber, hello.
All right, there you go, Xander. You're live. What's going on, Immortal? Taz the Immortal.
Yelling in chat, I'm not gonna lie.
You're doing what?
Hey Sim,
You're doing...
Dragon.
What's up, Xander?
Hello.
Okay, so
First time actually talking.
yeah, Xander, shut up. I'm not interested in what you're talking about. I want to talk to Dragon.
Wow.
I want to talk. Yeah, you jumped on here just for me to say that. I want to talk to Dragon because I know she always has a lot of thoughts. I know that sometimes not everybody agrees with her thoughts, but they are always good and thought out. So that's really why I was really wanting her on this one today.
Poor Sim and Xander are getting a double dose because they see me in the CCB regularly.
Yeah, I miss being in there with you guys, but it is what it is. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about.
Hey Cyber.
All right, so
All right, what do you want to do first? I was gonna say, what do you want to tackle
Do we
first?
want to do Relics, or do we want to do Ascension, or do we want to do 7 stars? I'll let you guys vote, because I have different feelings about each one of those.
Let's do Ascension first.
Okay, so
That's
let's
the
talk
best
about
one.
Ascension. All
Yeah.
right. Great, because you guys have more of the know about it than I do. Obviously, you guys can only say so much, but more so, I want to know what were your thoughts when you initially seen it? What did you as you guys gotten to hear a little bit more about it? Obviously, without giving details away, where are your feelings going from there?
Does anybody else want to go first? If not, I'll go first because
I think he specifically was asking you first.
Yeah, I heard.
First.
Honestly,
Dragon,
I
you're-
made the connotation that like Dragon should go first. So
Yeah.
Dragon-
All right.
Go for
Dragon's
it, Dragon.
First, and
Fair enough.
then
Fair enough.
Sim
Ladies
and
first.
Xander
Okay.
can go somewhere.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. I have thoughts with like a TM attached. Like, okay, so I love the idea of Ascension. I am worried for what it means for the power scaling of 7 stars and how that's going to work. So because right now we have obviously the overlap between 5 and 6 stars being like a rank 1 6-star is a 455 on a 5-star. So like, what is that going to look like when you add Ascension to that mix? So I'm worried about that aspect of it. However, I really love the concept alone of Kabam hearing probably our #1 complaint about the transition to 6 stars, which was suddenly my roster is irrelevant. Oh crap. So adding something into that mix to be able to say, we heard you literally loud and clear. This is what we're going to do to mitigate that. I really love that they heard us on that because I think that was a big community complaint. Again, I am concerned for exactly how that's going to play out, but as a whole, I don't agree with 4 stars having it. I don't think 4 stars should have it, and I'll explain why if you want. But I love that 5 and 6 stars both have it. But I think it is a mistake to give it to 4 stars personally. But I respect the decision for why they're doing it. But since Act 6 is gated against 4 stars, I don't think convincing people to spend Ascension resources on 4 stars makes any sense whatsoever. So I think it should be 5 and 6 only. But that's just me. So those are my summarized thoughts on Ascension.
Summarized thoughts. I love it, man. I miss those. I miss those thoughts on Monday nights. even while I was watching Monday Night Football, I would pop in and listen to you guys. So that was always great. Okay, I guess Xander, you can go next. Follow that up.
I mean, Honestly, like I'm all for like the idea of Ascension. I don't think it's gonna be impacted too heavily in around like Act 6 and Act 7. I think it'll just be targeted more towards people that, are building their 5-star rosters. Um, if you understand that.
Hmm.
But I'm looking forward to it, especially for like the 6 stars personally. And I don't got too much on that.
I can concur on that one. Okay. Well, so he made it quick and easy for you. So you got like 2.5, 3 minutes to talk about this. Did we lose Sil?
Oh, it's finally my turn now. You're allowing me to speak.
I mean, the second best for last, right?
Right.
I could interrupt you if you like. Would that make you feel better?
Wait, does that make me the best then, or what?
Wow, there
Oh,
he
look who
is.
showed
Thanks,
up, Joel.
Jason. And then our final guest, Jason from Jason and Jabari Gaming. If you guys don't know his channel, you should drop him a sub. He's a really, really awesome content creator. I'm gonna see if I can find your channel. Why Sim gives his thoughts, and we'll come back to you on Ascension first, Jay Will.
So
We're talking about Ascension.
I would think that I agree with pretty much everything Dragon said, and I think that where Ascension is, this is of the three. I think this is what caught my attention the most when we got it, like the information previewed to us, and I think the biggest advantage of something like this is going to have to be around like the size of the champion pool right now. We're rounding the corner and moving light speed toward 300 champions in this game. So the ability to overpower a lower rarity champion when you are seemingly unable to pull a higher rarity version of that champion, because the pool, even with dual class crystals now, the pools are still so large, it's very difficult to target a specific champion. So, using myself as an example, I, despite many attempts, have been unable to pull a certain winged mutant champion. And if I have the option to make my 5-star version of that champion more powerful, that he is actually usable in content and in battlegrounds, that's a huge win for me. So, and I think for as far as the 7-star power level that Dragon mentioned, I think for most people that's probably not going to be a concern. Maybe at the top of the game when you're focused on prestige. I don't know how much Ascension is going to affect prestige right now, but I think the majority of the community and the player base probably won't be affected by that kind of power creep.
Here's
The
crossed.
end.
Okay, sorry, I'm multitasking. I think I'm not
Same.
doing a great job at it. I'm not doing a great job at it. Jason,
Me too.
we're talking about Ascension. As someone who had, like myself, that hasn't had a look at it from the CCP side of things, what were your thoughts when you first seen the message on how that was going to affect your account and your progression and your future in the game?
Sorry, still driving, so I didn't want you guys to hear all that. Honestly, Ascension in itself, the concept is actually pretty good, in my opinion. Obviously, that has yet to be seen, but I do like the concept of Ascension for reasons that Simula stated. I mean, with the increase of champions, we definitely will have less chances of pulling said champions. So I'm making the lower stars levels of those champions a lot more viable. So I think that's a good concept for the whole community. Um, but other than that, I guess I'll save my other thoughts because I was really more focused on the 7 stars and the relics. I wasn't really too heavily concerned with Ascension in itself. Uh, just it, I think the bigger issue for me would be the other two. But Ascension in itself, I mean, I really don't have any issues with it as it stands currently.
Okay. My personal thoughts when I first seen the message come out, a lot of my subs came to me and said, "Ghostdog, you said if 7 stars comes out, you're going to probably quit." And I said, well, I followed it up with, if they release 7 stars the way they did 5 stars, I'm done with the game because I'm not chasing. And Ascension sounds like it's going to be the way to kind of keep that chase alive. Although that's not quite the way I would have did it, but it's not my game. I just play it. So I'm kind of more on a whole pattern with Ascension. Like, I don't obviously can't be excited about something I don't know anything about outside of the few text that we've seen in forums that I'm looking at right now, and then the few things that we've heard around from videos from the people in the CCP who have dropped videos on this.
I mean, you pretty much know what we know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Everything they've said so far is that this is really far out. We don't have it yet, but they know it's coming. It was really just, I think, we heard you. We are not repeating our mistakes. Is the vibe I got from the message as a whole.
Yeah, like like Ghostdog, you're mentioning like starting over and chasing stuff, and I think the intent behind this mechanic is really to make that transition between rarities a lot smoother than it's been in the past. So you can for the time being just collect whatever 7 stars you get, and then in the meantime ascend your 6 stars that you enjoy playing, and hopefully by the time 7 stars actually matter to the game, you've collected quite a few and have a few dupes. So but in the meantime you can your 6-star roster, your 5-star roster is still going to be valid and viable in content.
Actually does raise an interesting question, Ghostdog, that I'll pose to you. Okay. So right now it is kind of in the upper, say, third of the community. There is the assumption that you don't even need 6 stars. Most content right now is completable with 565s. And, if you're bad at the video game, like me, hey, rank 3s do perfectly fine. So what, if they're going to have Ascension built in, and this leads into the 7 stars discussion pretty well, I think, we need content for that to go along with it. Because right now, the content in the game, in my personal opinion, and I'm curious as to yours, isn't geared for anything higher than basically rank 3s. Would you agree with that?
I would say even rank 2s. I definitely put that out there. No, it's not Padme on call needed. This is Dragon. So my thought process on that wasn't. I even presented that to my when I was streaming that night. I said, what content in game currently requires you to have more than a rank 2 6-star? There's not anything in the content. I'd be fast to say even a rank 1 6-star or a 565, just because it doesn't. There's nothing. I mean, outside of the gates that were in Act 6, where you needed X amount of 6 stars to complete that gate, you didn't need 6 stars. You did it with 565. It just made it easier.
It's true, but if you have a bit of a you suck factor like me, hey, the R3s do make life a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure there's several people in my chat right now dreaming that would tell you that I suck at the game. Dreaming would tell you that I suck at the game.
I mean, I think challenger rating is one of the things that kind of comes into play there too, because as soon as we start seeing 7-star defenders in content, then 5 stars are being taken that much more block damage, etc. And I know like challenger rating is one of those like black box mystery things that not a lot of people in the game understand, but I think that's definitely going to be a factor.
More of a mystery than the FNAF box.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a reference. If anybody will get.
I understood that reference. I'm probably the only one that does.
DTX has a question. He says, "I do have a question for the group. Do you think that your thoughts should Ascension be able to rank your 6 stars or rank 7?"
No.
That's kind of where I was hoping, that instead of us being able to chase the same champs over again, at some point we would just, like other video games, you would take your 3-star champ. In other video games, I know you could take like your 3-star champs, your 4-star champs, and you do enough of them, you merge them, and then they become the next level on the star.
That's what I was thinking. Sorry, that's what
go, Xander.
That was my first like assumption, but I feel like it's gonna be more like I believe like what they said, it's going to be like a stat addition to your current like champion. Like, oh, it's another tab in your champion info page that you can rank up and level up as time progresses, as more ranks get unlocked, and so on and so forth. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, rather than oh, here's your 6-star, and you can change it to a 7-star, because they want to add 7 stars to the game. And so I'm thinking it's still going to be like another tab of champions that you collect, but you can still have access to your older ones and rank up those older ones that you currently have. That's what I think.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Ghostdog. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead, Dragon.
I was gonna say one thing I would say about the system of having relics be like a stacking rarity. I don't know if anyone's ever played Disney Sorcerer Arena. I played that for a while because I'm completely normal about games, and it introduced a system. They hit a max star level, and then they introduced systems where you had like a stacking rarity on top of it. The problem with it was one, when you were no longer chasing rarities, it completely threw away the need for shards. Like, in using an MCOC comparable term, but it threw away the need for shards, so it made opening things completely uninteresting. And they didn't tune it well. It got so out of hand in a 3-month period. It took 2 months to make me quit the game. I played the game for the better part of 8.5 months. It got to a point where I was playing it more than I was playing MCOC, and I quit it in 2 months because they broke the escalation system so badly. So I don't know how much I love Ascension in comparison with 7 stars, but as long as I don't run into that mess again, I'm all for it. So I think there is an inherent danger with saying we have capped our rarity, we're going to rank up in a different way. As much as I don't love recollecting everything, I think it's safer. I think it's safer for the game overall.
I mean,
agree with
there
that.
would be implications with ranking, like increasing a rarity with like arena, like like for you especially, Dragon, as a historically active arena grinder, maybe giving yourself like removing an entire rarity of champion and just replacing with another, rather than adding another rarity, feels like it's gonna decrease your overall point output.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Not that you're going to be able to use 7 stars in arena if they follow the 6-star pattern. It'll
Right.
take
For a while.
5 months, 5 months
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So another question that came up here, Christian Harris says, "I have a question. How would you feel about all this Ascension or Relic based stuff is pay to get instead of something we can earn based on the free to play player? I believe they may kill the game." I know there's going to be some monetization behind it. I don't know what's going to be monetized, but it's always,
I'm not sure they even know yet how it's gonna be monetized.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I would say we would have to
I'm
wait
gonna-
and see.
Yeah, one thing I will say about monetization with Kabam. So for those who don't know that are listening, I've been doing beta testing for Kabam for like 5+ years now. So I've seen a lot. Like since Act 5 days, I've seen a lot. So one thing I would tell you is that just because something is pay to win or pay to get to start does not mean in any capacity it is permanently that way. And that is historically true for the history of the game. The latest and greatest is always what's, pretty much pay to win. But over time, that throttle opens and everyone else gets access to it. And you need to really look no further than R4 resources and this year. If you think about the fact that R4s really got introduced in spring cleaning, like the spring cleaning event, that was in like March and April. We are in October, and the amount of R4 materials that are coming from different spaces is massive. Like you don't even need to do Karina's challenges these days. Like you just don't.
Floodgates are open.
No, I haven't touched
Exactly.
Karina's challenge.
Me neither. Actually, that's not true. I did 3 of the easy ones from Karina 1. But anyway, but there is something to be said for not getting yourself stuck in the gut check response of day 1. Day 1 is geared towards the players who want to pay to get ahead. If you are not that player, it's okay that you're not that player. And I would just encourage people to remember that, especially because I am known for spending some money, especially on big sales days. Just because someone rushes ahead of you because they spend doesn't mean that you're not going to catch up eventually.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I say something? Is that
Yes,
cool?
please, Jason. Yes,
Yeah,
go
go
for
for
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am absolutely glad that you brought up some of those points. Dragon, correct?
Yes.
So I don't think necessarily that everybody, or at least everyone that I have spoken with, is necessarily concerned with the tryhards on day one. I think the hamster wheel that we're in, obviously, the problem is right now the deals, if we had no units and things of that nature, right? The deals are already $600. Okay, every conversation that I've had for the past 2 years, probably a little bit more, I would argue, everyone was talking either or. Hey guys, do you guys want to see 7 stars come out, or would you like to see relics come out? Well, then everyone finds out we're getting both. So I think there's a little bit of greediness there that a lot of people are having a disdain for because of the amount of money that Kabam is trying to kind of implement. I mean, the deals are only going to get more expensive if we're being honest. They've never went down. They only go
Yeah,
up.
but
And
we don't
most
know what's out
people,
yet, right? Oh, sorry. Go
well,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
we don't know. We don't know yet, but we do know that it will go up because there's more things to get now. It's not going to go down. It's going to go up. And people are tired of spending this stuff because they're feeling like their rosters are becoming more and more irrelevant. That's why Ascension was okay. It's fine. But no one ever, if you guys have the same conversation for a couple years, everyone's going to say either or. Nobody's going to say, let's do both. That's a great idea. Because now you're telling me relics, hey, by the way, they're going to be prestige based. So the guys that are chasing prestige, now they have to get like 5 different relics with the highest prestige. Well, we're already seeing they're implementing new champions with new prestige quite frequently at this point, and that's fine. But now you're telling me I got to chase relics too in order to stay competitive. Now you're telling me that we're having strikers in battlegrounds, so I have to get that in order to stay competitive. So
Yeah, I think
again, I
it's
I
messing with
don't
the
think we're
competitive
being
nature.
really genuine about how much they're implementing on us spending just to compete in the game.
Well, I think part of that, the one piece I would push back at is we don't know that they're going to make all of this spender specific. We don't. We just don't know because it's not here yet. We don't know how they're going to implement it, how they're going to make things available. Yes, obviously, there's always going to be stuff geared towards spenders. They keep the lights on, right? I mean, that's the
Yeah.
nature of the beast. Um, that being said, though, um, I think if you implement one or the other, you run into way too many problems. I think implementing both isn't a greed thing. Obviously, making money is part of it. This is a business. I'm not gonna deny that. But I do think this is an 8-year-old game. We're coming up on 8 years. If you are not constantly innovating and introducing new things and building on what already exists, you're gonna lose your player base just by sake of simple stagnation. So while I do agree that there is something distasteful is probably the best way to phrase it, in putting out 7 stars and relics together, um, I do think it comes from a perspective of wanting to extend the longevity of the game, not from only thinking about the bottom line. Because between Battlegrounds, Relics, Ascension, and 7 stars, that's all come out in like a 6-month period. Like, that's a lot. That's investing in the future of the game. And to everyone who says the game is dying, listen, you don't dump that kind of money for all that kind of stuff into a game that's dying. Just saying.
Yeah.
So that'd be my pushback on that is I don't think you're wrong, but until we see exactly how they implement it, I don't think it's entirely fair to say it's only a cash grab, basically. I'm summarizing, I apologize, but
No, you're completely fine. I don't know if you know who KT1 is, but we
Yes.
talked to
oh yeah.
Kabam
Yeah.
Tip this
Yeah.
morning
We
actually,
we're
and he
aware.
has actually confirmed that everything that I just said about implementation, specifically because he actually works on Battlegrounds, that is in fact what they are trying to do. So I didn't know if you were aware of that or not, actually.
Aware of could you repeat that?
Who did he
Of
talk
them
to?
implementing the strikers and everything into Battlegrounds with the relics and stuff of that nature. We talked to Kabam Tip. I'm sure you are
Yeah.
aware of who
Yeah, yeah.
that is for in
Oh yeah.
KT1 stream this morning.
Oh
Tip
yeah.
Tip has been in several streams. He's
You're
never,
right.
even before Relics was where we're at today, back when they first started talking about him, he's always said that they'll probably get introduced into a game mode like Battlegrounds when Battlegrounds first kind of started hitting the scene, just to make sure that it ran smoothly before they started implementing it in other parts of the game.
Yeah, I think they said that in the announcement post too. I think that's there in the announcement post somewhere. That they were going to implement it in specific game modes. Like I said, I don't think implementing it in Battlegrounds is a bad idea. I'm concerned about Relics for a variety of reasons, and we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, there are concerns with a capital C, but as a whole, it's a new thing to chase in the game. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have more than 1,000 champions in my roster, and I'm coming up on a 4 million rating. Like, I don't have that much stuff I'm chasing these days in terms of like champion roster expansion. So like having a new thing to chase, like, I'm excited, I'm invested. Yes, obviously there's going to be money involved, but I've never begrudged Kabam that I spend too much in this game to do that. So, I'm just excited that they're continuing to expand the game. Give me more stuff. Give me more. I'm a Pokemon player at heart. Give me more stuff to collect. I need it.
There you go.
Gotta catch them
Well,
all.
cool. So we're 28 minutes in. I want to move on because I know Jason's got to get
Oh yeah,
to work.
sorry.
So
No,
we're
we're fine.
fine.
We're good. We're
You're
fine.
good.
Keep,
Okay.
yeah, we still got half an hour. We're straight.
Okay. Well, I do want to move on because we still have two other things coming to the game that we haven't talked about. We have Relics, which there were some videos that were dropped today. So let's talk about that now. Let's talk about what you're excited about, what you're concerned about with the capital C, because there are concerns anytime that we add anything new to the game. Oh, excuse me, real quick. There were some questions. Let me go back and grab the questions. Do you think it's better for the game now that we have access to dual class 6-star crystals?
Yes.
Okay.
Unanimously, yes.
Yeah, I don't see where that's bad. My only initial gripe was it's 2,500 shards more, but then after thinking about it for a while, I was like, it's 6-star.
Yeah,
it's
the current
top
highest
star
rarity. So
in the game. Yeah, so it makes more sense. We got a lot of people agreeing with what you guys have said. Other people still feeling somewhat on the fence. Gonna skip over a few things. I'm sorry. Okay. Do you guys think Kabam is giving up on the game? No.
No,
We've already talked
definitely
about it.
No, they're investing
No.
way too much money in the game
If
right
they
now.
were giving up, then you would start seeing less things coming in.
Exactly.
No company puts more money into something to say, "Oh, we're going to be done in a year."
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
I don't
and
think that's
just
gonna be
for
the case.
people who don't know or haven't been playing as regularly, like if you go back a year and a half, there weren't side quests every month.
No,
like,
they used to
I don't know
be,
if
like every few months.
like I don't
And
know
that
if people
makes sense.
remember that, but that was a thing.
I mean, I know I wasn't playing that early, but I if you told me that, like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you start a game like that early, like back in 2014, you don't, have every month like a special
have
event
side
quest.
quests.
You have like, maybe 2-3 months before you have a new one, because you're just starting from the ground up. And if you overworked yourself at the start like that, I feel like they would burn and crash. And personally,
Fair.
Great.
All right,
And then
let's talk about
everybody who stopped in and said
Yeah,
hi,
sorry.
I appreciate you guys stopping in. Sorry if I'm not commenting back, obviously, because I'm having a discussion with 4 or 5 other people on a chat call about the topics that we're here at hand. But Infamous, real quick, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Good luck in your match coming up. So Relics, let's talk about those. What you're excited about, what your concerns are, and then anything else outside of that, like I guess the mixed feelings.
I think my biggest concern is something that Dan from Frontline just put out not too long ago. He put it very succinctly, and he said that they're probably going to become basically mandatory in Battlegrounds because specifically of the ability to chain a combo into a striker, into another combo, into a special. And in a mode where killing the defender as fast as possible is the name of the game, that is an enormous advantage over
That's a
somebody
huge
who does
advantage.
not have a striker, or I'm sorry, a relic attached to their champion.
Yeah, that to me, that's huge because I'm probably not gonna be one of the first ones to win it because in the end, I'm saving for a wedding. So whenever this stuff does drop, I'll either be on my way to pay for this wedding or finish paying for this wedding, or I'll be just finished paying for a wedding and I won't have the money on the other side either. So there's probably gonna be a good chunk where I'm not gonna be spending like I used to, and that makes me slightly concerned because Battlegrounds is kind of the mode I've kind of attached myself to recently that I find the most fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think there will be a period where everyone's going to be struggling to get them to start
Mhm.
with. I think there's always going to be, hey, I just dropped $10,000 and now I have all the relics. There's always going to be those people. Um, but I think casual spenders, who'll drop maybe a couple $100 a month or less, I think we'll have a place. I think I'd be very surprised if we didn't have a place. Kabam knows how important it is to get this right.
Right.
My number one concern, has nothing to do with monetization and nothing to do with acquiring them. It has everything to do with how worried I am with them working with existing mechanics.
Yep.
These
100%.
that is like, I am so terrified of these hitting the game because number one, we already have a problem where we don't understand how a whole bunch of the game works.
Right.
The CCP is lucky in that sometimes we can go ask devs and be like, hey, is this working the way it's supposed to? But 99% of the community doesn't have that. So like, one, we're never going to be able to tell when they're broken. We're not going to be able to tell when they're working correctly. We're going to potentially be in a situation where relics break, and that's impacting battlegrounds, to Sim's point. And that's going to be a huge potential problem. And so I'm very concerned, not about them, but about how they're going to work with the existing mechanics of the game. Because between masteries, champion abilities, and then adding relics on top of it, I'm just like, there's going to be broken stuff. There's just going to be so much broken stuff. And I don't know what that looks and feels and sounds like yet. And that's probably where my main concern is. So that's my concern with a capital C, is we don't know how it's going to work in tandem with existing mechanics. And but I will plug this because I don't know if everybody knows about it. Kabam dropped bug board today. Did you guys see that?
Did not.
Like,
It's very
this
cool.
is this is not entirely related, but like there is a trackable, everyone can view it, not just CCP or anything, bug board now available, and it's
Nice.
awesome.
That's
So
great.
So
yeah.
can people add like a bug they know that they think might be in the game? Like
they can submit
for-
them. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna go find the forum post for you while other people give their thoughts because it's awesome. So
Great.
Yeah, I mean, we run into situations with all the time with synergies and champ releases where, they have whatever, how many testing people they have, and as soon as within an hour of people picking up the patch and playing with it, you have 100,000 people, testing different things, testing. I'm using air quotes there. So like the risk factor, like Dragon is saying, for something in a relic to straight up break the game is very high, I think. So they're going to have to do something about balancing the appeal of the relics to begin with making sure that they are looking for interactions with the relics and champions that perhaps were not intended, because again, battlegrounds, you find an OP relic champ combo in battlegrounds, and you have completely messed up the leaderboard. So
Gotcha. Jason,
Yes.
your thoughts on the relics outside of the obviously monetary aspect? Do you have any other concerns how they will affect the game, or are you excited to see how they'll help a chip that you currently have?
When it was in my mind, one or the other, when I was pro relics, I thought maybe like you can give a champion certain immunities that did not have any immunities, things of that nature. I thought the concept was pretty cool, but now that I'm actually seeing it, like I think I caught like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes of Cam stream earlier when he had Juggernaut or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was showcasing Juggernaut. Sim, I think maybe you stopped by, maybe, I don't know.
I
But
wasn't there today.
but yeah, so it looked different. I'll say that, but I'm not really advocating for relics at this time with everything else. I feel very strongly that despite the positivity going on, I think that we're not kind of seeing how this is going to affect people's daily lives. I mean, people can't afford most of these things, but they're going to try because they're going to see us doing these things. We are influencers at the end of the day, regardless of anyone wants to say that or not. That's what's without being said. So people are going to be encouraged to try to obtain these things. And I mean, spending a couple $100s to the average Joe is just not going to cut it in today's society. That just doesn't work. So I think we need to implement something that can be fun and positive for everybody that is also affordable. There is a way to make money without breaking the bank, so to speak. And I absolutely think introducing all of these things is not a good thing. It is not a good thing.
Okay, I got your message, Drag. I'm just trying to get it to fit. I'm not as good at editing this stuff as some of my counterparts are, getting in quick and fast and all that. Xander.
I haven't done too much testing with relics, honestly. But everything else that everybody has said here currently about the concerns about relics, I 100% agree. Because it will, like, one thing that goes wrong with relics in a certain area, and then it just is not like good at all. Sorry, I'm really not good with the words right now. I'm playing another game.
Playing another game. There we go.
Here, I felt bad for auto fighting. Normal. Come on now, Xander.
Well, I can't auto fight this game.
There we go. So there it is. There's the bug board. Dragon just shared that to me, and it says, "Hello, Summers. Today we are launching a brand new public bug and issues tracker, a board that gives summoners a better understanding of what bugs are currently being tracked and worked on at a glance." Okay, so I remember seeing this being talked about somewhere else. So this reminds me. They said that. So if you guys want to check it out here, let me. I think I should be able to link this in the stream. If you guys want to check it out on your own, there's that. But there, it's there. If you have bugs that you know about, go check it out. Go check that out and post those up. My other concerns obviously is how it affects the overall game itself. Because generally when they implement something new, it always does something bad to the game.
Unfortunately,
I think it's been better, but we still suffer from the input issue that happened. About a year and a half, 2 years ago?
14 months officially reported.
Say again.
It's been 14 months since it was officially reported by Kabam.
Why does it feel like it's been 5 years? But
I don't know. But it feels like 5 years. I'm with you.
Yeah. It feels like 5 years. It's terrible because when you feel like you've done the perfect fight, and take it for instance like something in Battlegrounds where you felt like you had the perfect fight, and you go to dash back and your player just drops. They just drop their, instead of dashing back, it drops the block and you eat a combo, and that's the game. So there's that. I know I missed a lot of people's comments. I'm sorry. This double duty, triple duty stuff that people used to do made it look easy. I make it look easy.
Ghostdog's working it over here, doing a great job.
I'm trying.
Yeah, GD. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up, baby.
I can't.
All right. Well, I see the question from DTX, and I actually really want to talk about that specific question. Because okay, so
the ISO problem and Go problem.
Okay,
so
Xander
we've talked
and
about
Sim
that
both
so
know this.
much.
Xander and Sim have seen my literal spread. Like I have a spreadsheet I sent to Kabam on this. Like I kid you not, I have a breakdown, and Sim used part of Sim's spreadsheet because his is awesome, and had my own mind. Okay, so I did a breakdown for the cost of every single level and every single rank up for every single rarity champion from 2-star to 6-star, all ranks. I did them all, and I recorded all of it manually, and I wrote it all down.
I love that.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting how bad the ISO drat is. Like, I think when I did them, and this was just with same class ISO that I did the math for to start. When you do different class ISO, it's even more horrifying. Like, it's like a bad horror movie, except it never ends. Like, it's so bad.
I mean, that's what happens though when you save up, 300,000 plus 6-star shards and open up all the feature champs and need to rank them all up to rank 3, Dragon.
Okay,
It's unsustainable, no matter how you look at it.
No, it is.
Listen,
It is because I find myself in and out all the time trying to find a new class.
Listen, I don't count. I'm like a Spider's George version of this. Like, I don't count. I'm an outlier. But but it's not even that. It's I had all the ISO I needed to take Omega Sentinel from rank 1 to rank 4. Like, I had all the tech ISO to do that. I'd saved up for ages to do it, but I had it. The point was, in order to take a 6-star from rank 1 to rank 4 with the same class ISO, you needed 24 dupes, I think was the math, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. So to do it without same class ISO, not only would it cost you like an additional 2 million gold, I think was my estimate. It like that's on top of the standard cost, which is 4.7 million, by the way. Not only would it cost you about an additional 2 million gold, the dupe number goes up to something like 36. It's just absolutely insane. So I will tell you, and I reassure everyone here, like, Sim and Xander can vouch, I have been like on Kabam about fixing the freaking ISO issue.
Yes.
Because it's so bad. My recommendation so far is to, for any 6-star dupes, not increase the amount, because then you just get into like, you have to claim like a couple hundred bricks. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't think that's going to end well for anybody. I want to take the 6-star dupes and make them 10k bricks instead of 5k bricks.
Yeah, that's what I mean by increase the bricks.
Yeah.
Increase it to the 10k bricks versus the
yes, I would love to see that. I think we need that, and I think that would make a big difference with how many shards have been pushed into the economy now.
Yeah,
I agree.
For sure. Just want to nod at Just Savage Gaming saying being objective, Relics for 2. Intrinsic, I can't read on the small screen. To not go through a lot of nerfs in 7 stars should be pushed out a whole year to allow accumulation. Ghostdog, much love. Thank you very much for the 5, Just Savage. The Relics, honestly, were kind of where I was hoping they would go to hold off the 7-star thing for another year, which would have made me a little bit happier. With them both being introduced at the same time, it kind of, I think that's the sour taste that most people got in their mouth. I think if we could have got maybe just the Relics versus the 7 stars, because they're going to still affect prestige and stuff like that, correct?
Yes, at some in some way, we don't know how, but yes.
Don't know how.
Yeah, we don't know the precise breakdown yet. Yeah.
I mean, we got to give the prestige people, the people that chase prestige, something to chase, right? They already have all the top prestige champs. Right. Then they need something else to chase. I thought Relics was a great way of introducing that and slowly introducing us into 7 stars, but that's not how it happened. You kind of said, here, take both.
I think for the majority of the players, Relics are just going to be like a fun addition to your characters. Like they're not going to add new RPG mechanics to existing characters who don't have them, because that would be even more game breaking than the potential is now. I think they're just meant to enhance the existing attributes of characters. So you're not giving another 3 immunities to Clairvoyant or whatever the case is. You're enhancing her nullifiers or buff immunity or whatever. So
not gonna lie, the power sting enhancer on Spider-Ham is amazing. Not gonna lie.
I mean, do we have
it's my favorite relic. It's my favorite relic.
And then there's me who used that Ant-Man relic on Miles, but I don't talk about that.
I mean, can we get something for Kang though? I'm just asking.
No.
Are you looking for a good Spider-Man classic synergy?
All right, so oh my gosh, that'd be funny. Okay, so I just want to ask Mike Middleton's question.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Go to that too.
Yeah. I'm raising my hand. So Mike, I want to answer your question. You asked me about prestige and how do I feel with relics affecting prestige. I don't care. Straight up, I don't care. Yeah. And there's 2 reasons why.
Calls in the top 45, right? No,
but it's not even that. I think people are obsessed with the idea of the top 5. Everyone forget to actually look at the numbers of the top 5. I did this with my alliance yesterday, or my old alliance, I should say, yesterday, because I got so mad that someone was like, "Oh my God, Herc's gonna drop out of the top 10," and I'm like, "How many points are there actually between 4 and 10?" Like, and I actually went to go look. Doom is number 4. Herc is number 9. Do you know how many points difference there are between 2? 36.
I would say not.
That's
many.
it.
Wow.
That's it. So, like, being out of the top 5 doesn't mean anything unless you're in a top 10 alliance. It literally means absolutely nothing. So, when you ask me, I took OS up for Prestige, which, yes, that's the exact reason I did. Also, I don't have Nimrod, which is the other reason. But yes, I took her up for Prestige. I don't care that Relics are going to impact Prestige. I don't. My Prestige is very solid. It's just under 15.7. No complaints from any alliance I want to join. And it very much is one of those things where I want the whales to have something else to chase to make it easier for us to get the other stuff. Like, that's what I want. I want that to continue to be a thing. So if they want to go herring off chasing 5 and 6 star relics, have fun. I don't care. Enjoy. Like, it's not my circus, not my monkeys kind of thing. So, but I know Jay Will has a hard stop at the top of the hour, so we want to talk about 7 stars. So we're kind of sliding in there.
Yeah. Jason,
Yeah.
Do you want Jason? Since
I mean, I literally just gave like my overall thoughts as best as I could. I mean, 7
I just
stars.
want to make sure
I
you
mean,
get your chance on this topic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Dragon. But yeah, that's just like the general how I feel and what I've obtained from having conversations with others, because obviously we all love this game, if we're being honest, right? We wouldn't have played it for this many years just for it to fail. And I think sometimes Kabam doesn't make the right play. And if you do that enough, you're going to turn a lot of heads the opposite direction. And that's what we don't want, right? So that's why I'm advocating so much for what I'm advocating for, because I think it's a huge mistake to throw too many cash grabs at people if it's not done correctly. I think you have to kind of slow your roll a little bit. That's like a little too ambitious, in my opinion, because that's going to turn too many people off. But that's just my opinion, of course.
Or I'll pose this alternative to you. It's going to give people different avenues forward. And I think that's why I'm not as worried as you. I think at the core, I think that's why I'm not as worried as you.
How do you mean by advocating forward? Like, what are we talking about exactly?
So, in a perfect world, you would prefer one over the other to start with, Relics or 7 stars, right? So, and not have both together.
For various reasons, yes.
Yeah. So I think that you can choose not to go after relics, and it won't hurt you for a very long time in the game. And by that point, depending on the player, obviously it's going to be very different for like top AQ alliances. So I'm not counting the 0.1%. I'm counting like everyone in the top like 500, from like 45 to 500. So that group of people.
Okay.
So I think relics are not going to matter for that group of people for at least 8 months, if not longer. And by that point, they will have already picked up some relics, maybe not the highest rarity ones. Maybe they'll have like a 4-star one or a 5-star one, but they won't have the top of the line ones that the top alliances do. But they'll start to get relics a lot more organically. So I don't think we're going to see that impact and be a part of like recruiting requirements or like pushing the prestige number super high, because we're not going to be able to get them quickly. So I think you can choose to chase relics because they're going to be coming. I think Kabam said they were tied to Battlegrounds. Yeah, I think there's a whole thing where like, oh yeah, relics are supposed to be in Battlegrounds. So relics are going to be tied to Battlegrounds. If you don't do Battlegrounds, you can choose instead to chase 6-star shards and 7-star shards as a result and grow your roster that way. I think it is creating a very divergent path for players to want to tackle other things, because there are people who hate PvP, right? Like, there are people out there who do not want to play PvP. I'm traditionally not a big PvP player. I just want 6-star shards, so I'm playing lots of Battlegrounds. It's pretty simple. But I'm normally not a big PvP player. Battlegrounds would not be my choice to play. Like, between Battlegrounds and Arena, I'm going to play Arena every day.
Arena all day long.
Yeah. So I think it's giving people two avenues. So.
Right, and that's cool, but that's like literally my thing, ma'am. I'm sorry, but I play competitively for Battlegrounds and all the various tournaments right now, so that actually really does affect me heavily. But again, that's just me, right? Most people that I know, they're just kind of like, yo, like, this is too much for me. I can't keep up, so to speak, was the whole idea, because I understand where I'm at, and I absolutely assure you that will affect me and me being competitive, because I try to play the best players in the world. Therefore, that will absolutely affect me. And that is how some of the other competitors and private chats that we have are feeling, because they're feeling now they have to chase these things in order to stay competitive at Battlegrounds with the Strikers and the Relics. That is absolutely a big deal to us because that is the only game mode that we are interested in currently. Now, with other people, they're feeling like this is becoming a little bit too overwhelming because some people, like you said, they absolutely love to run arena and all that stuff. That's completely fine. And I do agree with you that it will open up various doors, but to what end? Because, I mean, some people were just like, well, hey, I love everything, but I'm no good at everything because I'm not trying to really, really go hard at things, even though I might be a great player. For instance, there's a lot of great players that cannot afford to spend money, and they are absolutely top-notch players, but their roster sizes will absolutely matter in Battlegrounds over a period of time. You just cannot get past that. It's going to be the same with Strikers and Relics. After a period of time, it doesn't matter about skill level anymore because you can no longer compete because you cannot afford to play. And that is what we are all fearing. And that is what I'm saying. So it is a big deal. It's not like, just because I understand that you don't care, and that's cool, but other people, what we actually do care about, we feel like is being invalidated because of things like that.
Yeah, I don't want to give the impression that I don't care. I think a lot of people are so emotionally invested in it, they can't. I think it's hard to see the potential positives when you're worried about the negatives. I think would be what I'd say. But I want to toss it over to Sim and Xander because I want to
Yes.
make sure hear their thoughts on 7 stars too.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I agree with that. Go ahead, please.
Sim, you can get
Yeah,
started
I mean,
first. Xander's
I,
probably playing Pokemon or something.
I'm trying to think of exactly what I want to say here, but like the assumption, and I've heard you mention this a couple times this evening, Jason, is like, the affordability of this, and I'm not sure where the assumption is that they're, the 7 stars and the relics are just going to be like dumped on us like all at once rather than like trickled out. So this, I don't necessarily agree that to stay competitive, you're gonna have to, drop $500-600 a month, on relics, because that's not. I mean, we have no idea how they're gonna be monetized. The like Dragon said, the last that we heard, they were gonna be tied to Battlegrounds rewards. So if you rank high in Gladiator Circuit, that's where you're gonna get good relics, and those good relics are gonna enable you to place higher in the next season, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, I I know that we can certainly expect some sort of monetization because that's the way this game works, but I I don't think that I'm seeing like players being shut out because of that. That's an unknown to me right now.
Okay. Xander?
For the 6 stars, or I mean 7 stars.
Yeah, yeah. Just to I guess we can follow up on what Jason was talking about, where his biggest concern is not only 7 stars but the relics in competitive mode. You're in my tournament, so you kind of understand like the competitive aspect of that. I know you guys. I know you don't do war anymore since you've recently got back into war over the last couple seasons. How would you guys feel with this? Make those things more competitive, less competitive? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, personally, I'm not a competitive person at all. I understand the hype and the fun about being competitive and all, but personally, that's just not for me. So I see no worry with, trying to reach the top and get like the best relics and all of that. Um, what else?
But do you think it will affect? Because maybe you're not competitive, but
Right.
maybe you know people who are.
Mm-hmm.
and who do this game or do certain modes such as the battlegrounds modes competitively because they want to compete against the best 1-on-1. Where I think that's the probably since it's newer one, but it kind of gives you the best idea like who how you match up. You said my mic is super soft.
Yeah, like I guess I don't see the difference between a player who spends, you know, who spends thousands a month on building an enormous roster of sigged up champions in battlegrounds, and a player who, like you're saying, Jason, can't afford to do so and has a respectable roster but has the skill to compete. Like I don't see there being an immediate impact of either 7 stars or relics tipping the balance so quickly, so much, as to significantly affect the competitive balance of battlegrounds in particular. As there are plenty of examples in tournaments that are going on right now of people with lesser rosters defeating people with big rosters because they're just better players.
Just better players, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I'm thinking of Aiden from Vega's tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Vega dropped a screenshot with his profile in
Yep.
it into the CCP, and he was like, "This just defeated one of the top players in the tournament." And I was like,
Yep.
"Well, one, go Aiden, because holy crap, it was awesome. But two, also I've beat him in a battlegrounds match, best of 3, yeah." But he definitely had a roster that was nowhere near even mine, and I run a BG deck with all R3s, all R3s and R4s. Like he doesn't have that. He has 565s in his deck.
Exactly.
And-
I've seen his he shared with me like his like plans and stuff for future rank ups and etc. about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so like there's something to be said. I think in a much longer term we'll see the wheel turn. But I think short term, I understand the fear, but I don't think it's warranted until we have more info.
Right, I was just about to tie
Yeah.
into that. Like, wouldn't the fear of like existing 6 star or 7 stars and relics matter more if we knew like who exactly was coming into the pools and what type of relics are going to be added on while the 7 stars and relics are being rolled out? I feel like the fear would be a lot stronger if we knew who and what is coming rather than just, oh great, these are coming, that's it.
Well, essentially, at some point, all the champs we currently have will be in
Right,
the
but for like, I
And
feel
I
like it's
think-
going to be rolled out like 6 stars, where a certain amount of
Well, of
champions
course.
like Angela, Red Hulk, Luke Cage, like those guys were in like
Yeah,
the first batch.
the first match, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, and then I think this is where my nose kind of, I gave that little look when I heard this, and I finally read it. I was fine with Ascension, and I was fine with Relics, and then I heard 7 stars come. I'm like, oh, I gotta chase all my champs again. And granted, yeah, it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna be able to use my 6 stars with Ascension a lot more going down the line. But in turn, I don't want to build my roster again. I'd spent however long now I've been playing a game. I was behind on the 4 stars because I wasn't playing seriously enough back then. When I finally decided to start playing serious, 5 stars were a thing. So I was playing catch up to try to catch 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Then finally 6 stars were introduced, and now I feel like my roster is at a point at the 6 star level where I feel competitive enough to compete against, the other people of the world. Whether my skill level is up to that par or not, at least I feel like my roster offers diversity for where I can take on different content without worrying about, how will I get past this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the fear that a lot of people have is they don't want to do the chase again. Now, Ascension could basically close that gap down a little bit for some of us. I'm more on the wait and see. I put a poll in the chat, and that's exactly what I voted. I'll wait and see how things are going to turn out, because it will take me from the player I am today, where I play competitively in War. I try to do my best in Battlegrounds to be as competitive as I can, and continue to do other things in the game where I might take that same step back BG did. Where now he's not in an alliance. He doesn't care about War because obviously he's not in an alliance. He hasn't even finished Act 8.1 because what's to chase for? He doesn't have anything to chase. He's just kind of happy doing what he does when he does it.
One
And
thing I will say about I think the not wanting to chase your roster again is that was said with 5 stars, and that was said with 6 stars. I
but for
I
me, I
it
guess for me at 5 stars, I didn't have my 5 star roster wasn't very big.
oh
If I,
that's fair.
yeah, if I look at it now, and I showed you guys, it hasn't grown much more than what it was when 6 stars really started getting introduced.
Yeah.
Like, so like even my like I stopped taking champs. Obviously, most of us stopped taking champs past rank 3. I'm sure some of us have not. There are some out there that will take every champion.
I was gonna say I just ranked APOC, my 5 star APOC up to
I
R5.
know you did. I knew you did.
I did
knew you
I did sort of the same thing with Venom Pool, my 5-star Venom Pool to rank 5, just for Eternity of Pain, that Craven.
So one thing I guess it's not even necessarily you in specific, Ghost Dog. It's more community sentiment. The sentiment has been the exact same thing with the launch of 5 stars, and like my first 25 stars, I pulled Captain Marvel, like OG Captain Marvel, crappy Captain Marvel, 8 times early on. And I remember wanting to quit when I pulled her for the 8th time. I remember straight up wanting to quit because I couldn't pull new 5 stars, and I was so desperate to try to get a decent 5 star roster. And so when 6 stars came around, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna focus on ranking up my 5 stars, and I'm just not going to care. And ultimately, that led me to make a lot better decisions for my roster. So I think there definitely is a group of people who are frustrated having to recollect a new roster, and I get it. I 100% get it. But I also think there's a group of people who are excited to collect again.
Oh yeah, there are.
So, and I'm one of those people, and I freely admit that.
Because you're a massive collector. You get excited about the little 2 stars you pull.
I do. I
remember
Rogue?
seeing you talk about those. So
Yeah.
I know you get excited about those.
Yeah. So, and like I said earlier, I have more than 1,000 champions. So, like my chase, I have all the 3 stars, and I have all but one 4 star, and the one I'm missing is Thanos. So, good luck with me gifting trying to pull that crap. So, But so my only thing left to chase right now is 5 stars. I'm missing less than 20. I don't have that many left to chase. So when you're in a situation like that, which is obviously unique, there is a subset of people like me who are like, ooh, new thing, new thing, new thing, new thing. And while I know it's frustrating to have to build your roster again, because goodness knows I felt the same way about 6 stars, I think having that there for people to chase is going to open up the throttle on all the materials for ranking 6 stars. And that's something that hasn't been brought up that I really want to emphasize is when the whales have something high end to chase, like 7-star shards, we are going to see the faucet freaking open on rank up materials for 6 stars. And
Yeah.
I really want to hammer that point home because I don't think people remember that when that happened with tier 5 basic. It was the hardest thing to get a hold of for the better part of a year and a half. It sucked so bad trying to get tier 5 basic. And then all of a sudden,
Tier 5
boom, the
basic
faucet.
now.
The second they could
Yep.
chase tier 5 class catalyst, the faucet on tier 5 basic opened, and we're gonna see the exact same thing happen. And I can't wait because I think it's overdue.
Yeah.
Definitely overdue on some of these rank up items. It seems like they've opened up the floodgates a little bit on 6-star 6 stones.
Yeah, man, with the battleground story,
Yeah. Yeah, that I thought that was nutty. Now you can get 50 a week now if you wanted to, with if you had enough of
trophy
the,
tokens. Yeah, man,
yeah. It's crazy.
dude.
Good stuff.
You're talking about 6 stones. 6-star shard gain is insane right now. Okay, making the dragon hoarding joke. Yeah, okay. Obviously that's okay. Everybody get that out of the way. Get that out of the way now. But I have gotten more than 50,000 shards this month. The month of September. 50,000 6-star shards. That's insane. I can usually only get that many when Black Friday comes around.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said for, while I am also concerned for 7 stars coming out, I think duping 6 stars is suddenly going to become very easy. Easier. I shouldn't say easy. It's not going to be easy. There's almost 250 of them. Easier because you can just get so many shards now. So
Cyber says, "Holy crap, Dragon!" Yeah, we all have the same sentiment. Cyber.
Listen.
We listen to Dragon
Just
more than-
because on July 26th I opened 710k shards and I have 385 today, it doesn't mean I have a problem.
I can stop whenever I want.
I can stop whenever I want.
I can.
But I will say that did you open up every last single shard
Yes.
that day? And
Yeah,
now you're already back up to over 300,000.
I'm close to 400,000. Yeah.
I guess if I would have saved mine from that point too, I guess I would be. But I didn't save for the current feature, and I said, oh, I'll start going for it. Now I've pulled most of the champs out of there I want. Now just recently I said, okay, back to saving. I'm only at 50,000 6-star shards, but you know.
It's fine. It's still a bunch.
Can I read a quick question? I just
Yes, please.
Skarko says, "Why do we have to rebuild the roster? There is nothing in game my rank 3 6-star can't do. I don't need."
100%
We talked about that
true.
earlier. We talked about that earlier.
We
Yeah.
talked about that earlier. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I would. Okay, so here was my thought process. This is how Ghostdog, if he was doing it, how he would have made it. At some point in the game, you would have got 6-stars that would have stopped in certain champs that would only be available as 7-star or higher, and your 6-stars would eventually be able to be made 7-stars. I wouldn't have. It would have just been new sets of champs versus the current champs that are already in the batch. But I know that's not the way you can do it, because that kind of kills your pockets monetarily as a business. But I just figured with everything coming out at the same time, that's the way I kind of would have done it. I would have felt like it would have been just a little bit. You could still make a lot of money off doing that, just not as much as you're going to make doing it the way they're going to do it. That's for your whales. For everybody else in the game, it kind of sucks early, and then like Dragon says, later on it opens up the floodgates for new things. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of where I'm on a wait and see pattern. I'm not happy, but I'm not so disappointed that I'm like, oh no, I'm done with this game today.
Yeah. I mean, and like the power level of a rank 1 7-star is probably going to be comparable to what we have now. And we touched on the initial pool, which is probably going to be full of mediocre champions. But one thing that hasn't been brought up is that, for any 7-star that requires a dupe or requires high or max sig, there is no way that I'm going to use that champion over a 6-star equivalent. Like, I'll use my favorite champ as an example. If I pull a 7-star Void, pretty much useless to me because I want him duped. I want him high max sig. So he's just going to sit there and essentially do nothing, maybe sit on defense because, sig stones are going to be, if 6-stars are any indications, 7-star stones are going to be not even a thing for a long time. And, if the pool is, pool being what it is, it's probably going to be difficult to get a natural dupe unless you have, hundreds of thousands of shards. So,
Christian asked, do you think that they learned from the previous mistake on 6-stars and make the pool better for 7-stars? I think you're still going to get that mix. You're going to have probably about 3 to 4 game-changing champs in there, maybe 2 to 3, and then you'll have a pool of some your utility champs, and then you'll have those champs nobody wants, like Groot and Beast.
Yeah, I think you'll have like a 60-40 split. 40% really good or solid champs, and like 60 that are like fan favorites, or like I don't want that champion. So
right. Yeah, and you can decide once you see the pool if you decide you want to open up 7-stars at that point in time or not. Obviously, the longer you wait, the less likely you are to pull said champ from that pool, but it's something you can always do. Take it from Dragon. She's hoarding 300,000 plus 6-star shark now.
opening in 2 months on my birthday on December 15th. So we'll see how that goes.
And saving for that.
Yep.
Also want to humble brag. I met Ghostdog. Yeah, Chris Brown and I, along with Infamous and King from New Nation, we all met up in real life downtown Indianapolis.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that's so cool.
That was fun. That was this past weekend. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
And Infamous brought his wife, and I brought mine, and they actually knew her. So it made it even better because she went from being somewhat uncomfortable to being comfortable around people she knew. So
Aw,
we
that's
go.
awesome.
it was. It was.
right. So how about this? How about to end, we all do what is your excitement level for the future of
was gonna-
progression? Yeah.
I
Want to do
was
that?
gonna say the same thing. Yep.
All right, Ghostdog, you go first, because you've let all
Me
of us go
first?
first. Yeah, we've let all of us go first. You go first.
I am more on a wait and see. Like I said, I'm not completely disappointed, but I'm also not overly optimistic just because of the way things have rolled out in the past. I'm going to say, I'm going to say I'm gonna wait and see. I don't know where I'm at. I just know that I wasn't initially happy when I heard it, and I came a little bit back since then. But I'm definitely on a wait and see.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 is I hate this, I'm quitting, and 10 is this is the most excited I've ever been, where are you?
I'm probably gonna be about a 5.5, 6.
All right, all right.
No,
I'm going last. I was gonna say I'm going last now.
Hold on.
So-
Cameron,
so-
this is not a She-Hulk team, and no, Wong is not on this team. What are you talking about? if, for those who don't know, CBM is who I do reviews with on Marvel shows at the end of their season, along with what's that guy's name? Captain Bay. That's his name. Yeah, the guy who doesn't really stream anymore. But yeah.
Oh.
No, stop it, Cameron.
Casual
Okay.
shade. Casual shade. Oh.
Jason, your thoughts, and then Larson, thank you for the 2. More importantly, let's get 4 stars on the Act 6 and 7. It's not happening. You can hang
Yeah,
that.
but ascending your 4 stars is going to help you with some of those Karina challenges.
Yes, that I agree.
Okay. You said my thoughts, GD? Is that what you said?
Yes, please. Yes.
Actually, I mean, a wait and see approach is probably warranted. I will say that. We'll have to see how everything plays out.
So you're along the same line as me. You're on a more wait to see.
I mean,
Right.
what else can we do? We just
I mean,
have to see how it rolls out.
There's people right now that are completely unhappy with everything that's going on. So
I
you could
will
be
not
that
say by any stretch of the imagination that I am happy and or satisfied, but you guys seem to think that this is a positive thing, and that's completely fine. So we will see if this is a positive thing or it will become a negative thing.
Ooh, we
It's
can
just that
revisit
simple.
again in 6 months with the same panel. That would be nice. After my wedding.
Mark your calendar
After
then.
your wedding.
Yeah.
After the wedding. Real quick, Cameron. No, you're a streamer. Yes. Now we're talking about you. I was talking about Captain Bay, who doesn't stream anymore. But yes.
Wow, calling out the captain there.
Hey, look, he's got to come.
Oh.
Look, he ain't here to defend himself. I can call him out if I want.
He's busy.
Yeah, sure. I'm probably going to hit him up after the stream. Xander.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see new things come to the game. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say 6.5 to 7.5 is my excitement level.
Okay. Sim.
Yeah, I would say like I have different levels of excitement for each of these 3 things. Like I am not really excited about 7 stars at all, just because I don't really see like the need for them for me
I don't
personally.
think they should be introduced like this early. We don't even have rank 5s yet, and we don't
Yeah.
need, like, where would we use a rank 5 6-star?
I
You know-
I
oh.
yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sim.
I suspect 7 stars are probably going to be a prestige thing, and I mean, again, I don't chase prestige, so I really don't care about that. But
Same.
unless they're going to start gatekeeping content to 7 stars, which went over so well the last time they tried that, and I don't think that they're going to do that again. I don't see where I'm going to use a 7 star anywhere in the game. But like I'm super excited for Ascension and making my favorite characters that I worked hard obtaining and sigging up and ranking up even better. Relics, I'm kind of in a wait and see. I think the risk that that we talked about is really high, that it's going to break something. But you know, I'm kind of a wait and see on the Relics. But yeah,
Dragon.
Fair. All right.
And then,
Xander, I was gonna say, do you know what's funny? Is you say we don't even have rank 5s yet. Do you know what's really funny? back when 6 stars first came out, I did a whole write-up to Kabam about how I think they launched 6 stars wrong. Like, I have the document. I did a whole write-up about how I think they did it wrong. And the number one thing I told them I think they did wrong is that they released 6 stars before rank 5s were available. I literally wrote that exact sentence. So it's super funny that they're doing the exact same thing again. But adding Ascension, I think, is going to fix that. So, anyway, I'm a solid 7.
Ascension rolls out well. I hope Ascension rolls out well.
Yeah.
That will help push me closer to a 6, 6.5.
I think I'm a 7. I like the new collection. I know everyone's not excited about 7 stars. I kind of am. So, I'll just put that out there. I'm
I don't know if that was me or is that me?
super cool. So that's where I land.
Did everybody else hear? Because I didn't. I'm thinking that might have been me. My internet's been acting wonky.
One thing I really did want to say personally was, since I haven't tested Relics as much as everyone else has on the CCP, like how Cam and everyone else has done their testing streams and videos, I haven't done much testing personally with Relics, so I don't have much of an opinion on them right now for Relics, and that's all I wanted to say about that.
Hey Dragon, I think my internet had dropped for a hot second right as you were finishing up your topic.
Yeah.
Can you go back?
I can.
Finish that off.
But yeah, Xander, I really want to know your thoughts in like a week after you've had a chance to test Relics, because I am very curious.
For sure.
I was just saying my final rating's definitely a 7. I'm very worried about Relics breaking the game. I'm excited for 7 stars. I know not everybody is, but I am. And I think Ascension is super cool. I have a very large roster, like between my 565s, of which I have more than 60, and between my rank 3s and my ranks 4s, of which I have more than 50 together, and I have 76 550s for 4 stars. Like, the idea of ascending a bunch of these, like, I'm super excited. Like, let's go. I want to ascend all of them just because I can.
So I guess the question then, I didn't really ask Ascension. Is it not just going to be you get to ascend said 6 star individually, or can you ascend a group?
I don't know.
How does that? We don't know how that's going to work, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't know if there's going to be specific materials to ascend 4 stars, specific materials to ascend 5 stars. Like, we don't know anything. Part of my worry about Ascension is it's going to be the same material for all 3 ranks, and people are going to ascend their 4 stars and then find out they can't use them in Act 6. Like, that's my number one fear with 4 stars. I don't want to see that happen. But if they make material specific to all of them, oh hell yeah, I'll ascend my 4 stars in a heartbeat. Let's go.
Gotcha. DTS asked or is asking, Sim, Xander, you've already answered, and Dragon, you guys are all in the CCP. Have either you two tested Relics? I'm assuming you both have.
No, I actually haven't. This week and last week in my family life have been pretty stressful, so I haven't really played much out of what I need to play. So
I have not tested all of them, to be fair. Okay. So I will caveat that.
You have tested some of it, though. Yes,
I've tested 4 or 5 different relics. Specifically, I wanted to test the Spider Ham one because I'm planning to take Spider Ham up to rank 4. Because I want him to be a terror, and it's going to be great. And that relic just rocks. Like, it's so much fun. I also tested the Scarlet Witch relic. She's awesome. I tested the Venom relic, the Venom relic's so funny. It's a ton of fun. I highly recommend it. It's probably one of my favorites. Not my favorite relic, but it's one of my favorites. My favorite right now is the one for Spider Ham, who I'm forgetting which champion is that. Ant-Man? I don't remember. I think they have a lot of. I think they have so much potential to break things, and I'm worried.
Yeah,
but there's so much fun. I am concerned
about that. So, last and final question for the panel. Day of Deadpool Day is coming Friday. How much gold do you have, Jason?
Less than $1 million.
There you go.
But then again, I think I have the largest account out of everybody on call, right?
Probably,
how big? Hold on. How big?
I have over 70 rank 3s, man. I'm on my 13th rank 4, so I don't think anybody here is even close. But still, that being said, I do
rating,
so I rank up all the time is what I'm saying. So gold is it's a big deal. Which is why I loved when you brought up that analogy about the class specific ISO and the non-class specific ISO, because a lot of times you don't have a choice unless you want to sell your ISO because it expires, and then you have to either throw it into a champ or hope that you have enough of that ISO when you want to take up said champ, for less, for the cost efficiency. But yeah, honestly, with Battlegrounds when it launched, that's when the floodgates opened up for myself and KT and everybody else, and we just started ranking up champs like there was no tomorrow. So that's why I'm normally broke.
Got you. Xander,
I had to step out. What else did I miss?
how much gold do you have?
How much gold do I have? Let's see here. Is it 2 million? Oh, okay. Well, 2.79 million. That's how much I have.
Okay, I have 24.6. Then I'm going to say you have a little bit more than I do.
I have 30 million, but I probably have another 30 plus in gold crystals and probably another
easily.
10 plus in battle chips just waiting.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hate
And then-
both of you so much.
Oh, Dragon! I thought
can I
you
get it
had
long?
more. Dragon,
No,
how much
I don't
do you
have more. 7
You
million.
used a lot of it
7 million. So Data Dip. Only reason why I asked is Data Dip was coming Friday. Was it last
They posted
year?
on the forums. That there might not be gold offers.
Might not be gold offers, but
Honestly,
if there is,
Damn.
They were what, like 10 million ish
10
total
million
last
for
year?
10
million
million
total.
About
Yeah.
10, yeah, about 10 million, yeah.
Yep, for
A
sure.
lot. It was
like-
good stuff though.
Yeah.
That's true. Like Jason, I've been doing a ton of ranking. Like if you look at the number of rank ups I've done between the end of July and now, like I think I added a obscene amount of champion rank ups. So, R4s especially, which are very gold heavy. So,
Yep.
I'm very much in a position where I'm trying to save gold. I'm better. I used to be at 2 million. I'm up to 7. I'm doing good, and I haven't bought anything this week or this month yet.
There you go.
So
I mean,
I'm hopeful.
Just out of curiosity, have you guys ever brought up to Gabam that maybe when we dupe a 6-star, we get a little bit more of that class-specific ISO?
Yeah, that's
we
Hey,
talk
hey,
about that
hey.
all the time.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sim and Xander, have we brought that up?
that's been a talk
all
we
the
for the
time.
last
All
3
the
Okay.
time.
years.
I was
Yes.
just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
Well,
like Drag and I are probably like the two biggest people who make a fuss about that.
Yep.
So-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
only
And,
makes
and
sense.
Sim and I
Good.
Sim and I brought the numbers. Like
Yeah.
we like smacked them in the face with numbers. We weren't nice about it.
Good.
Um,
You shouldn't be.
I agree. It's the main thing I have said that I'm pushing for is to see the 6-star dupe bricks change to 10k. Like I would love to also see them increased, but I don't want everyone to get into a situation where you have 5,000 bricks in your stash. Like we just don't need that hot
Or
mess.
an-
Like I just don't want that. So I'd rather increase the size of the bricks.
Or
And-
an issue on the CCP. Yeah, we're kind of like what you said, where because I have a habit of just overbuying ISO, or if you buy too much, it just like bugs out to like 10,000, and whatever you try to claim, like if you dip below a certain amount, it just resets back up to 10,000 in the overflow,
there's-
and I don't like that.
There's so many logistics issues with putting more items in, so I don't agree with increasing the amount we get, just the
Yeah.
larger bricks.
Mhm.
Also, Chris Brown, I see that question. Have you brought up the fact that it's too difficult to get me 2-star 6 stones? Okay, no, but do you know what's funny? Is there's like 7 people, myself included, super hype about the 2-star 6 stones in the store this month.
He was the one who I said
Yep.
earlier, Dragon,
Yes!
that bought all of them.
I bought all of them today too, and I sigged up my Miles and my Gwen to Sig 99, and I love it.
I definitely synced up Jubilee. Yep. I'm with you.
I'll sig up my Rogue for you. Don't worry.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Okay, so that's on the form, right?
Are you gonna come at Dragon
What
like
you
that?
Yeah, it's Xander out here trying to
I
stab
can't
me.
I
Damn.
can't one up Dragon in many ways, but that 2-star Rogue, I'm sorry.
That's the most painful one.
Oh,
So,
it hurts.
so I would tell you this: the biggest thing I miss about the UMCOC podcast is I don't go to the forums very often. I don't read the news too often. Rich Man tells me what's going on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And on Monday nights, I used to listen to the UMC podcast for all my news. When they stopped doing their thing, it hurt.
No.
Yeah, So
If I can get to a point where I have more time, I might go back to doing news summaries. I don't know if I'll do anything else, but I might do solo news summaries because
there we go.
I just stay on top of so much stuff from my alliances. Like I just do it already out of habit. So like I might as well just go, okay, here's news this week. Have 10 minutes of me rambling about it. Let's go.
Yeah. So she dropped.
I think
me.
time
She
is
dropped
the
us a
biggest factor for everyone. It sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always a big factor.
Yeah.
She dropped us something in our Discord chat that we're in, and showed me that for those who don't have gold, no worry, Deadpool Day of the Deadpool won't require gold. So that means break out your wallets, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn. Well, maybe next year.
We'll see what's happening though. We'll see what the Day of Deadpool has to bring.
I think it'll be fun regardless.
Is it a six-star Deadpool potentially?
I think we're gonna see that for sure.
I just got the 5-star.
Asking people to consider dropping 10 million gold right now in this gold economy would feel pretty bad. I got to be honest.
In this economy,
it's true. In this economy, yes.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, I think we're about an hour and a half in. I think that's kind of where we want to stop. I want to thank Xander Scar. I want to thank Simula 67, aka Simula 54, Dragon, and Jason from Jason and Jabari Gaming. Appreciate all of you guys for being on call with me tonight. Like I said, maybe in 6 to 7 months we can all come back and see how we all feel then about this exact same issue, because I'm pretty sure around that time, about 7 or 8 months. I think we're about 7 or 8 months away. Is probably when we'll start feeling what's going on with everything, including those unforsaken 7 stars. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. I really don't. But that's gonna be it.
Thanks for having us on. This was great.
Yeah.
I had such a fun time.
Fun times.
Yeah, I think this is the 3rd or 4th one of these I've done. They've gotten better each time. Not me, just the people talking about stuff. I'm just here. Just here as a voice.
Hey man, if you weren't here, we wouldn't have a host, and that's the most important thing to have.
That's
is
probably
true.
the most important thing to have.
It's true.
But thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night, and we will talk to you. I'll definitely be back Friday for my stream, and Sim will probably be back tomorrow for his, and Xander will probably be streaming like God of War or something tomorrow or something. Like
what's tomorrow? Okay, yeah,
Thursday.
Okay, no, I got something planned tomorrow. Yeah.
There you go. See, and Dragon, we'll look forward to you coming back and giving us more of your tidbits.
I'll read the news so you don't have to.
There
Best
you go.
tagline ever. Best tagline.
That sounds good.
And Jason, I will catch you in many of other chats and things like that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, to all you guys who came and hung out with me tonight, thank you, Larson. Thank you, Just Savage Gaming, for your $5 donos. Thank you for everybody who came by tonight. Drop the like. I appreciate it. I love all you guys. Until next time, peace.